So, looking at the right angle triangle, and let's say B is our distance, and this little A would be our launch angle. So if I'm, say, for example, 162 inches, which is this, 162 inches, which is 13 and a half feet away from my net, and I have these as my launch angles. Don't get that confused with your loft. Your loft is already built into the club, but your launch angle, this is the typical launch angle for PGA Tour. That would mean that at 13 and a half feet, this is how many inches above the ground that the ball hits on the net. And I was interested in that. So, if we walk this way, we're going for a little quick walk. Seeing as I want to keep this as a short video. And here's my hitting area. And we actually go and look. Let's get back here a second. We look at the net. That's what you're really looking at. Now, they're supposed to be 3 inches apart. I went with 4 inches. But as you can see, I have my 5 iron, 6 iron, 7 iron, 8 iron, and 9 iron. My 8 iron is the absolute right, correct height. But then the rest of them, I went with the, like I said, 4 inches apart instead of 3. So my 5 iron is really, if you think about it, about 2.5 inches too low. But I don't mind that. I want my 5 iron to stay down. So it's not optimal, but it's good for practice. So anyway, that's what you're really looking at. So if you really want to think about it, below that line of the 5 iron, then you would have your 4 iron, 3 iron, 2 iron, and then your driver and your woods further down, all depending on their loft. And then up above, you would get into your wedges. Although I try to flight my wedges, so my wedges, I always want to keep them down. But I thought it was interesting when you start mapping out, what does your ball flights at 13 and a half or 15 feet or however far your net is away, that's actually the space you're looking at to hit each club into the net. So if you're out there and you're spraying on the range and you see one ball go low and one ball go high, you really only have 3 inches in between each club to hit. So anyway, thought that was interesting.